Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
I'm sorry, I'm jamming to my song here. So anyway, hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Local to Me 2022 edition. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope all of our listeners had a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and enjoyed the snow. If you're listening from Virginia, I hope you enjoyed the snow.
I love the snow.
Okay, so no, I'm not a huge fan of the snow, but I have issues with the snow from childhood. I almost got severely injured when I was sleigh riding as a child, and so since then I've been terrified of snow, and I do not even ask me to sleigh ride. And like when my kids go sleigh riding, I can't even go out there because it scares me. But I was coming down a really big hill one time when I was younger, and someone had parked their RV at the bottom, and I was heading at it really fast. Luckily, there were two guys at the bottom that tried to stop me, which they slowed me down, but I still went under the RV to where it hit me right at my chin. Anyway, and then they scared me because they were like, you could have been like decapitated. And then that just terrified me. So I'm done. So there will be no sleigh riding for Heather.
You're like, kids, you're on your own.
Yes. Like I barely like look out the window. Like I'm like, my daughter's out there like, look at my snowman. And I open the door. I'm like, that's beautiful. Bye. I'm inside. I'll make cocoa and chicken noodle soup. But anyway, but how crazy is that it's like, 70 degrees? And then the next day is like 6 inches of snow.
Yeah.
So 2022 has come in with a bang.
I don't even know what kind of clothes I need to have out.
I don't either. I don't know if it's like summer or it'll be winter tomorrow. But so we're excited to be, kicking off 2022 with a new episode. We know that, I think the past 2 weeks you've heard some of our best of, maybe, I don't know. Was it?
Oh, every episode is a best of.
Yes, absolutely. But, we're back and, we're looking forward to doing some new things in 2022 with Talk Local to Me, bringing in more businesses for you to learn about, bringing you guys information that you need to know, whether it's the community or local businesses and, things that we hope that you can take back to your business, to your employees. And, today is going to be a little bit of that. We're focusing on kind of 2022 small business trends, things that there's being forecasted for the year, things that small businesses kind of need to look at, maybe things that you're already incorporating, maybe things you need to incorporate into your business. But just kind of giving you some of that information. And I have the fabulous Jess chatting with me with Smith Mountain Lake Virtual Assistant Services. And I'm telling you, if you have not met Jess, if you're in a bad mood, you need to meet Jess. Because she will make you laugh or smile. I don't care how you feel. And so she's always just like, as soon as I walk in, it's like, you just have this presence of, I don't know, happiness and joy. And you're wonderful to be around.
Thank you.
And so, but to kind of kick off today, I wanted to do a quick kind of 2021 in review for the Central Virginia Business Coalition. I try not to talk too much about the actual CVABC, which is what I am the executive director of, and which is pretty much the reason behind this entire podcast that we do.
That you do an amazing job.
Well, thank you.
On behalf of all of your businesses.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
But, one of the reasons that when Woody and I started talking about having a podcast, we wanted to do something through the Central Virginia Business Coalition, which is an organization, for those who don't know, that helps to grow and promote small businesses throughout our region. So, we have businesses that are members from as far up towards like Charlottesville area to Roanoke, down south towards, Rocky Mount, Smith Mountain Lake, and, even as far, I guess, north-ish, Amherst, Lexington, you name it. Wow. We have some businesses there, and that is our sole purpose. our sole purpose, my sole purpose as the executive director, is to see businesses flourish, to see them grow, to see entrepreneurs that are looking to start a business become successful. To see even those businesses, and I do say they're businesses. I have a lot of people that say like direct sales are not a business. Well, they are, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Those that work their business, it is theirs. They make money. They're supporting their families, and that is what I strive for every day. I don't want to see a small business close due to lack of funds. I don't want to see them close due to not being able to get the marketing, the connections, the advertising, the things that they need due to budget. We want to see you succeed. And we want to continue to see our communities in which these small businesses reside succeed, because it's a circle, You want to see better things in your community.
Mm-hmm.
I see people talking all the time, like, we need this, we need roads fixed. We need, schools doing more things. It's a snowball effect. When you put the money back into your local economy, when you're supporting local, you're going to be able to see those things. And I think it's important. And that is, something that every day I wake up and think, how can I help somebody today? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's one business, whether it's multiple, whether it's just a singular person,
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're here to do. And you'll notice, and I have noticed, that small businesses are so encouraging to others,
Mm-hmm.
and you learn a lot from smaller businesses. Like if I were to call Walmart today and try to get, I wouldn't reach the CEO, but I mean, if I were to try and call a large business and say, hey, do you think you could help me out with this? They're gonna be like, no. Or let me pass you on to 50 other people before I tell you no. But, I call a small business and I say, hey, we're doing a silent auction. Can you donate something? Hey, I need volunteers. Hey, but I'm going to get an answer. And sometimes it is no. But I will say with small business, about 80 to 85% of the time, I get a yes, or let me see what I can do. Or, they genuinely want to work with others.
Yeah, and it's not about the advertising or anything like that. It's genuinely their heart. They're giving it.
Mm-hmm.
They've worked so hard to accomplish their goal,
Mm-hmm.
and they are willing to just give up something so
Mm-hmm.
that they can genuinely care for the community that they live in.
Well, like you and I were talking earlier, it's about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships are the key, and we're going to dive a little deeper into that as part of the 2022 trend, because that is part of it. But, building a relationship with someone outside of it doesn't have to just be work. I will be honest with you guys. Many of my members, I consider friends.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of them. I know about their families. And I don't say that because I, sit there and stalk you on all your social medias or things like that. But genuinely, I hear people, they tell me things. They come and sit down and they'll talk with me for an hour. And maybe 10 minutes of that is business. And the rest of it is just like, hey, let's chat. Let's have a good time.
And even just listening to a small business owner and what their journey and what they're going through, that's really encouraging from a business standpoint.
Mm-hmm. And I even have a member, and I'm not going to name any names, but I know I think it was in the paper, but he was a member 2 years ago. And then him and his wife, they have quite a few children. And when COVID first came about, he needed to step back from being around people, just because they have, I think they have like 5 kids now. And a couple of their kids had some health, issues. And so he was like, for right now, the networking piece was the big part of it for him. And since he really couldn't be out networking, it just wasn't a benefit. And I completely understand that. But I still I still talk with him. Well, him and his wife had a baby just a few days ago, and she actually, I think they were on the news, but he put up, we were talking about it yesterday. She actually had her baby in the parking garage of the Virginia Baptist Hospital.
Oh my
because she couldn't get in enough time, and he helped deliver it in the parking lot. And I just wrote back to him today and I said, wow, what a great story you have to tell your baby when she gets older. And, I didn't know you were a doctor, but fabulous job delivering your kid, so it's just,
yeah, a testimony.
but those are the relationships that, we're still friends. We still do different things, but I know them, and I know when the time is right, he'll rejoin, or he'll, things like that. But that's what the CVABC is here to do. And we offer a lot of benefits, and kind of just to show you guys in my 2021 year in review, we had, I thought in 2020 when COVID hit, I was really concerned because businesses were shutting down. And I thought to myself, well, our memberships are going to lapse. We're not going to get the new memberships. And we are a membership-based organization. That is primarily how we continue to do what we do, is membership, membership dues and sponsorships and such. And so I thought to myself, oh, this is not going to be good. But I continue to push forward. I continue to find ways to, connect businesses virtually and do things throughout 2022. And we had honestly a fabulous year. And so then I thought, okay, well, 2021 is going to be when I see the decrease, because it's going to kind of filter through. Mm-hmm. Well, so for 2021, we had all of our sponsors recommit, every one of them, which was amazing. Amen. And a couple of them even doubled, one even tripled his sponsorship. Wow. And I was just like, and they told me, they were like, we believe so much in what you do that we want to continue to be a part of it. And so for this year, I will say, our new members, we had close to 140 some businesses join in 2021. And so to me, that was amazing. And even this last quarter of 2021, we had, we actually went to a different member structure. We did a tiers dues system. Say that 3 times. Yeah. But we had, so now there's 2 different, tiers you can choose from. You can either do the 125 tier or the 200 tier, and they have different benefits involved. But the last 20 businesses that have joined since that started, 18 of them have chosen the higher tier. Wow. And it hasn't been, I've gotten no pushback from, oh my gosh, you raised your rate some. But what we did was we kept one of the rates the same. So you have the option to stay where you were, but then we gave you the option to push up a little if you wanted. But we still hosted all of our events this year. We held, in my opinion, pretty fabulous events at that. Our Centerfest event that we hold in downtown Bedford was one of the largest we've seen in a couple of years as far as attendance, as far as our vendors making sales, and that was fabulous for the community. Our Christmas parades this year, both Bedford and Lynchburg, were record-breaking crowd. I know in Bedford, Lynchburg was, I would say, pretty close, but we were able to do that. We held our Women's Empower event this past year.
An amazing event.
I love that event. I get all excited about that one. And it's coming up again. It'll be coming up in May this year, but it's a women's leadership event. It's a 1-day seminar. And then we also we host the rights to the Athena Award, so we're able to give that award out to 2 women in our area that show strong leadership and mentorship. And we had about 120 women attend that this year. And so when I started that 3 years ago, our first year we had like 30 women. Mm-hmm. So after 3 years, to not only be at about 120, but also we were recognized, we got like the silver award for best professional development in Lynchburg for that. I thought to myself, wow, how crazy. That took off. And we're actually trying for 2022 to do some things kind of outside of that. Like we have a book club going right now for some different women's leadership. We have different things that we're going to kind of spawn off of that, if you will. But excuse me. So, events like that, our coffee talks that we do every week, every month, that keep our members network together. Those are just things that, I don't think a lot of people, they realize we do. I'll talk about events here and there, but for a small business that's out there and you're looking for someone to help you, we're definitely an organization that I'd say, and not to toot our own horn, but I'm going to toot just a little. We do a good job at it.
You really do.
And if you're looking or you've been, utilizing other ways to promote your business, give us a try. See what it, for $125 a year. A lot of people think I'm talking about a month. No, 1 year. Like it's it comes out to 16 something a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then or you can do the 200 level, which is like $18 a month. And we do allow you to pay it monthly, which is crazy. So $18 a month. Come on now. Just don't go, get fast food for 2 days and you can pay us. But you get so much, advertising wise. I mentioned we own spaces on 4 digital billboards in our area. Our members can advertise for as little as $150 a month, which is unheard of. And actually, when you join, you get a week or 2 weeks free, depending on your level. We have this fabulous podcast, which our members can come on at no additional charge. You just get to come on and chat with me. And then I also do a radio show on WLNI on Saturday mornings that our members can come on for free. So you hear the word free, because one thing I also like to mention is when you pay your membership dues, we try very hard not to ask you to incur any additional expenses aside from the co-op advertising, or when we do dinners. We have our annual business awards dinner coming up in March and the women's event. We do have a ticket for that, but that's because we're trying to cover the cost of catering and venue, but
which is
it's like $30 for I don't know. We try not to charge much. I don't ever like to do anything that's going to be detrimental, because the whole point of promoting your business and asking you to be a part of what we do is not to keep asking you for money, because you need that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you're out there and you're listening, you need to join the Central Virginia Business Coalition and, find out more about how we can help you. We're trying to expand. Like I said, we have members in Roanoke, and, the more that we can continue to grow our reach, the more we can do in those areas, the more staff I can hire, and the more we can do. I'm going to take over the world. No, not really.
Do it.
But I did want to, everyone, it's January. People start going, oh, you got to have resolutions. Okay, I hate resolutions. Let's just say that first. What makes January? I don't understand. I know it's a new year, maybe a new year, new you, new whatever. But why can't you just make a resolution in November? I don't get it.
But November, you're eating turkey.
Well, that's true.
And then December, you're eating
turkey and ham.
So we're done in January.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I'm just gonna say I don't even try going to a gym until March. Because everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. All I'm doing, I'm drinking water. Look at my little water bottle here.
I love it. You're killing it.
I'm hoping I don't have to get up in the middle of the segment and be like, pause. But let's talk about not personal resolutions, but let's talk about business resolutions. I know for personally, for us at the Central Virginia Business Coalition, our business resolution for this year is to try and do a lot more business focused. We do a lot of community events, but I want to be more intentional about my business focused events, more lunch and learns, more opportunities for members, even if it's not through me, but we're also members of, so we pay membership dues to 2 organizations. One is the National Retail Federation, which allows us the opportunity to have so many, we get all kinds of seminars and different insights from them. And then also AMEBA, which stands for the American Independent Business Alliance. And they are also a national organization. And I get so many wonderful tips through them on, they do their whole shop indie, which is independent, shop local. And so I'm hoping to push more of the seminars that they offer, just the insights that they give us. I'm actually hoping to attend the National Retail Federation Expo.
Oh, wow.
To actually listen in, learn what's coming down the pike, and bring that back to our members too. So that's kind of my resolution for the year,
Yeah.
is to be more intentional with what we do in the business sector. And then, of course, always to provide fabulous service and advertising for our members. But what about you, Jess?
That's a great resolution to have.
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll see if it happens. I hope it's not something I'm like, by February, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing it. Done. So,
yeah. So, SML Virtual Assistant Services, we have a lot of big changes coming for 2022. First off, February 25th, I will officially have been in business for 1 year.
awesome. And can I just say what a year it has been for you? You have grown ridiculously. Like from when I first met you to now, I'm just like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Like, who is this
Me
business? But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's so true. I never imagined, I think of it as like a direct sales like type thing. Like I'm gonna sign up for it. I'm gonna do it. And then it's gonna crash after I'm done because I just want to utilize it for the, discounts. But no, I'm here a year later. It is amazing. I just cannot believe all the exciting things.
Wait, so while we were sharing lattes, you were thinking like, I'll just use you for, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm sorry. I had to say that. That was hilarious. Okay, keep going. Keep going. I feel
never meeting with Heather again for lattes. So we have a lot of changes coming. Like I said, our year anniversary is in February, and a lot of big changes are coming to the business. And I have been working with one of my clients, Adam Mullins Photography, which I can't remember if he's a member or not. Oh, Adam.
I shake my head no.
Adam and Sarah Mullins, I'm calling y'all out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, he has big plans for my business, beyond my wildest dreams. And so I'm totally looking forward to releasing all of that. The only thing I'm going to say is #BetterTogether. It's the only thing that I can see right now.
Collaboration is so key.
It really is. I had to go get breakfast. I wanted to get a nice, healthy breakfast. And so before I came here, I went to CJ's coffee shop down at the lake. And, how amazing is it that, speaking of Better Together, that we live in a community where I can go to CJ's and I can go to Smith Mountain Lake Coffee House, support both businesses.
Yep.
We can be better together.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be one against another.
I so agree with that because everyone knows my love for mocha frappes, which, by the way, I'm not even, okay. That is one of my personal resolutions. I'm trying to lay off the daily mocha frappe because that's probably why I'm mocha frappe and a little bit bigger on my, but anyway, it's great because I can go to Joe Bean's, I can go to Mission House Coffee, in the mall. I can go to Smith Mountain Lake Coffee House, and all three of those all are local in business. Yeah. They're all in different areas. Some same. I mean, Mission House and Joe Bean's are kind of, they're both in Lynchburg market, but there's also one, Joe Bean's is here in Bedford where Mission House is not. So if I'm in Bedford, I go to Joe Bean's. If I'm at the lake, I go to Smith Mountain Lake Coffee House. If I am in Lynchburg, it varies as to what, spot in Lynchburg I'm in. But
I would much rather spend my money at those small businesses than go to Starbucks any day. Because I know I'm going to walk in and I'm going to know them face to face. I'm going to know their family. I'm going to know their friends. I'm going to connect better with them.
Don't you have like a frappe named after you or something?
I do. At the coffee house.
You.
At Smith Mountain Lake Coffee House. It's
Sarah,
the unofficial Just Chattin' Frap.
Sarah, I need the Heather Alto something. What are
Somebody-
you doing?
They said, Sarah said one day, I think she said somebody came in from Bedford and ordered 2 of them. And I was like, who?
It wasn't me, but
It wasn't me,
that's
but
great. But no, I agree with you. And I think when you collaborate, and I love seeing businesses working together, and especially when people recognize everyone has some sort of weakness. Okay, so my weakness is definitely it's hard for me to be on time sometimes. Yeah, okay, all the time. But I do have weaknesses. I do have weaknesses in delegating different things. So like I need people to kind of step in and say, "Hey, here." But when I can collaborate with other people, like we collaborate with John Hayden for the tree lighting event here in Bedford, and he does a fabulous job with that. We just help to really promote it more so than anything, and we do the Christmas carriage rides, and but I don't sit back and go, oh gosh, everyone thinks John Hayden does this event, but it's the collaboration and all of it together, and he promotes the parade. And I think when you find people that offset you, that's so important.
And that's another thing too, is just with the Better Together deal, it's also about encouraging one another. We're not here to compete. There is plenty of business out there enough for everybody and in all the fields. And it's, how can I help you? How can I help Andrea with her singing business?
Right.
How can I help? How can my strengths be used to help someone else's weaknesses?
Right. Absolutely.
But on top of that, circling back, I don't usually say that, but I don't know why I said that now. Anyway, circling back to resolutions, my theme for this year is getting back to the basics. So, talking to somebody on the phone, people don't want to talk to a computer. People don't want to talk to people from Bulgaria. Is that a country? I don't
know. Bolivia.
Bolivia.
You put them together, Bulgaria. But yes, I get what you're saying.
I'm not a teacher.
But that's actually part of one of the trend things I'm going to be talking about in just a little bit. So I'm glad you brought that out. But yes, getting back to the basics. Is so important. Yep. Woody.
Hello.
What is your resolution this year, except for to have more of Heather on? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, 24/7 Heather.
24/7 Heather podcast.
It's called Heather Alto FM. That's what we're.
Alto FM.
Alto.
Oh, there we go.
I've got.
Look at what happens when you collaborate.
That's it. Well, I've got 2 actually.
Okay.
The big one for me is that I really love the partnerships that I have, that I've developed over the last year, 2 years, and 5 or 6 years in business. And I really want to focus on those. As a business, you can get really caught up in getting new business all the time. And for me, my goal this year is to really just take care of the people that have been using, my services, and that, you have those partnerships with. Just kind of focus on them and keep everybody happy,
Yep.
That's my main thing. And new business. I would love new business, but again, just build up those relationships and make time for some personal projects, because my business started off as a hobby, and it was always a hobby for me, and then developed into a business. And then for a long time, it's been work, and you forget why you started. Why you picked up a camera, why you started editing. And so this year, having done a couple of personal projects late last year, really made me say, you've got to make time this year to recharge, because that's how I recharge. I mean, vacations really don't recharge me. For some reason, the thing that helps me is when I can go and do, a video or a podcast the exact way that I want to do it, and just put it out there. And so that's the 2 big things this year.
So both of those really resonate with me. One being that, you talk about not having, focusing on what the clients you have versus all the new. And that's something for me that's difficult, because we have new members that join all the time. But I feel like that's something that too, I need to be more focused on, because you get to where, you have 500, 600 businesses. And how are you working with each one of them, and part of it, yes, it has to be on them too. You can't just join and then just expect, me to run your whole business for you. You
Right.
you have to be involved to a point. But for me, it also is needing to get more involved with, especially those new ones that maybe I haven't reached out to or gotten the best relationship with yet, because, again, back to relationships, that needs to be there.
Mhm.
But then time is a huge thing for me also in 2022. We all, I mentioned earlier the being on time. I'm really, really going to try and do better with that this year. Not Heather time. I need to,
Mhm.
real time. I have Heather time. But also, at the end of 2021, at the end of the year, every year, the CVABC, we do close for about 2.5 weeks, from about mid-December till January 1st. And a lot of people go, oh, wow, it must be nice. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it is nice, A, but B, the reason for that is we work so hard throughout the year. I don't think people realize just how much time myself and my staff, it's not 40-hour weeks. It's way more than that. It's, it's weekends. It's, we're constantly out doing these Saturday events, or, we work way more to comp that 2.5
Right.
weeks. But for me, it's a time to recharge with my family, because I am so busy during the year that I do feel like my family does not get the time with
Yeah.
me that they need. And I'm giving all my time to 500 other people. And it's nice when, we go out and everyone's like, oh, hey, Heather. Oh, hey, Heather. And then, someone will even say something to me and my husband will be like, what happened? I'll be like, oh, I forgot to tell you, So taking more time for myself, and allowing my staff the time to take for themselves and their families, I think is going to be important, because I think once you do that, you're able to give more of yourself too.
Mhm.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Woody. Those
Yeah,
were great.
Those were good.
Oh yes,
Great.
you're more than welcome.
I appreciate it. I thought maybe it was going to be like, help Laura more, make candles.
I learned a long time ago that when I try to help Laura, it just slows her down. We had a business, and I have a hard time. And this was one of my goals several years ago, staying in my lane. And I learned if I stay in my lane and do, and that was that whole business where we did it together. That really was a learning experience for me on that, because I learned to just kind of, you have to let people do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not an expert in every single aspect. And so that was a good one. So she's doing her thing, and I will help if asked. But I am better just to kind of load a car and unload. So-
That's how my husband and I are. Like he needs to do his thing.
Mhm.
Like he's an introvert, and I'm
Mhm.
clearly not an introvert. And at the end of the day, he needs time to do his thing.
Mhm.
We don't have to be together 24/7
Yeah.
to have a working relationship.
Right. Well, really quick, shout out to Laura though.
Yeah.
I bought a few of her candles
Aw.
before Christmas,
Yeah.
and to give out to some friends. And one of them I actually used as one of my family's like dirty Santa
Yes.
gifts. And so I paired her candle with like a gift certificate and a
Yeah.
few other things. And so it was so funny because my cousin's husband picked it. And I thought to myself, oh, great. Because it's got this like frou-frou girl
Yeah.
candle, whatever. He loved it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he loved the candle. He said, I don't even know if I'm going to burn it. He said, I may just sit it here.
I told her, I was like, that's horrible marketing. You make these candles so pretty that nobody wants to burn them.
Yes.
So,
But he was
I don't know
thrilled.
about these candles.
Oh, you've got to see them.
I need to see
She's
them.
amazing. I am a bit biased, but that doesn't factor into this statement. She really, she's very creative. And this past year, we were able to put on a home studio so that she could make
Wow.
her candles there. And she's been just we're already running out of room.
Her candles look like succulent candles, but she also does like warmers, and they're so awesome.
And
I love
she's
them.
getting back into the soap and bath bomb making this year. We had to take a break because we didn't have the space, and with the cold process soap, it involves lye and a process, and we have 2 little dogs, so we had to have a separate area for that. And so this year we've got the area. She's going to get back in there. And those candles are beautiful. However, I need to show you pictures of the soap she makes. It's unbelievable.
I'm working on it right
So
now. I've got her Etsy page pulled up.
She's great. So
Aren't they gorgeous?
I'm a blessed man.
So anyway, I'm over here just shopping. I'm on Simply Somerville's Etsy page here. Let me just see what I can buy. But so let's talk a little bit about one of the things I wanted to focus on today was trends for 2022. So if you're a small business and you're listening, what are some things that are being kind of forecasted as important for 2022, and how you can incorporate those maybe into your business if you're not already, or maybe it's something that you're like, well, I've started to, but I need a little bit more information on how. And so I've kind of scouted out and looked out some of them, and most of the different pages that I've read all kind of have some of this, mainly the same forecast.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them I can definitely see. And the number one thing is that e-commerce is going to continue to thrive.
Oh yeah.
Not to say that if you have a brick and mortar, shut down and go online. No. What I'm saying is if you're a brick and mortar and you do not have a website or a way for people to shop online, that is probably something I would seriously move to the top of my list for 2022. Mm-hmm. People are wanting to, not, and I don't know so much that it has COVID as a reason behind it anymore. I think back when it first came out and people were shopping online because doors were closed. Mm-hmm. But I think people did like the convenience of it. And, when you're pushing local, it's hard for people to not go to the Amazons and the Walmarts and the places that mm-hmm. have online, when some of their local providers may have it, but there's no online option for them.
Right.
So what do you think, Jess? Like that's like a pretty big thing.
Yeah. Especially with my own business this year. I don't know if I'm going to be giving away a lot of information.
Don't give it away. Okay.
But I think it's so important to brand yourself mm-hmm.
with
an e-commerce site. It's just so, a lot of things are automated mm-hmm. and it just, the success rate is just unbelievable.
Yeah. So it was showing here that they're expecting e-commerce to grow by 17.9%.
That's huge.
That's huge. And spoiler alert, here's something new for you guys from me. Mm-hmm. I'm actually opening my own online e-commerce store. Ooh. It hasn't opened yet. One of my passions, and this is going to sound really crazy to everybody.
No.
And for years, I love, this is so crazy. So I'm opening up an online consignment for children's and adults. It's like a clothing consignment shop. I've always loved being able to shop for, and it's more like designer, your Gymborees, your old Gap, the things that a lot of people don't go out and buy, or there isn't one in your town anymore, or things like that. So my husband says like I have an entire like store in my office space at home, like stacked up where I've been, buying clothes, but I actually have started my own Shopify website. And I haven't put it out live yet, but it will be within the next month.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. So it's called, and this is after my mother. It's called the Carousel Market. She used to paint carousel horses, so it's called the Carousel Market. What goes around comes around.
Wow.
So that's kind of my tagline.
I got that.
You got it?
I got it.
You got it.
It didn't take me a minute.
Nope.
No, but I mean, it's everything from like infant clothing to adult plus size. Like I have everything, but it's all online because I don't have time for no brick and mortar. But
Go, girl.
I've been working with small businesses for years, and I finally thought to myself, I can just do something. But this, for me, Woody, it's kind of like this is more of a pleasure thing for me.
Exactly.
It's just fun. It's fun. If it makes a little extra cash for me, great. If not, whatever. I just enjoy the find. I love mm-hmm. finding things. I'm one of those people. But I'm excited to start that soon. So
good for you.
Coming
I'm happy
soon.
for you.
Coming soon.
I love a good consignment place.
Yes.
We're always like every town we go to, like when I go to film a commercial, we always hit up a Goodwill or a consignment
mm-hmm.
store, thrift shop. Because like the gold that you, and we even, one thing that I love that we do with her aunt and uncle for Christmas, we have what we call a yard sale Christmas, mm-hmm. right? Where like the gifts, the requirement is that the gifts are just yard sale finds. So throughout the year, you really have to think about the other person. And when we go to yard sales, we go to yard sales.
Oh yeah.
But sure enough, at Christmas time, like the whole year you've gone to these yard sales and you've thought about them. And it's my favorite gifts because like people have thought about it and they have found these treasures. And one, like I just love old finds, right? And it's wonderful. So that's great. I hope it does well for you.
Yeah, me too. It's I've been kind of dabbling in it with like selling on eBay and things, and it's done well. So I kind of was like, you know what, I'm just going to create my. It's harder when you're sitting there trying to like, eBay and Poshmark, and you're so many different places. So I'm like, you know what if I just bring it to one local place and then have that Facebook page open with the business, and then they can go to my Shopify.
Do you have somebody to set up your website?
So I've been doing it myself. I don't know how good it is,
I can send it.
but it's there. Okay.
I could connect you.
Yes, please do.
I will.
Okay. But there you go. E-commerce is going to be big. Another thing is cashless, contactless payments are actually becoming a necessity nowadays. 79% of businesses state that they've switched to cashless payments, mainly for safety reasons post-pandemic. But again, it's definitely, you're not having to worry about cash. You're not having to worry about, your chip cards and magnetic strips and all that crazy stuff.
Can I just say that one of my very first professional jobs was a teller at a bank.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I did learn a lot. The money was so disgusting.
Yo, you having to deal with it?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
So all this debit card,
yeah,
I love it.
So, if you're interested, we have members at the Central Virginia Business Coalition that can set you up with like different readers or contact payment information. So, if that's something you're looking into. And then prioritizing engagement is going to be a must in 2022. Transparency is a big piece of it. Be transparent about your business. People want to know what they want to know. Like, don't hide something. Don't, more people, if you're just honest, even if something goes wrong, be honest, be transparent about why. Talk about that.
So one of the biggest things with my business is the reason why I'm so successful with my clients is because I do a 30-day trial. And I want to make sure that our relationship goes well because I don't want to have them sign a 6-month contract and then 3 months in we're like butting heads and it's about relationship, so I'm upfront about it.
Yes.
Transparent and
Yep.
Yeah.
And that leads to customer service needs to be a priority. And I think people are still trying to figure out how to navigate the customer service world with, a lot of stuff being virtual or people doing things online. But that's something that you need to look at. And it did say that your mobile experiences, it said people, like 90% of consumers stated that they had a poor experience when seeking support through their mobile device because people are not really checking maybe their messages and things like that, or they're just giving them, who's handling your messages. Make sure who is handling it is trained. Make sure that they know what they're doing and make sure they know to be respectful, because regardless of whether you're face to face or it's just somebody over the phone, the customer, and I'm not always saying the customer is always right. We all know sometimes the customer is very much wrong, but you need to treat them as if they are, and you need to at least maintain a semblance of respectfulness, kind of, you don't want to just give away the farm, be like, oh, okay, well, but you want to sit there and go, how can I help you? How can I make this better?
Right.
Because sometimes people don't always necessarily, they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily want you to give them the refund. I mean, I do, but I'm just saying, but there are some people just want to know that, that it didn't go right for them. And they need to they need to put it out there.
Yeah, I think that's so important. People, as far as going back to the basics, people just I've worked in customer service for years. Before the bank, I worked at HSN customer service. And when people called in there, they just want somebody to listen. They had a horrible day. Their dog died. They just don't have anybody that will listen to them to give them time, which, the majority of the time, if you just listen, the customer service is taken care of.
Right. Yep. And then I think that also leads into another trend for 2022 is mental health in the workplace and how you're treating your employees, how you're hearing them. I think the past 2 years have been difficult on a lot of people. People have been worried about their jobs. They've been worried about, their families supporting. And as small business owners, you're also concerned about those same things, but you have to also worry about your staff and making sure that they are being supported too. So mental health right now, and I have seen, I think for a lot of people, and this kind of jumps into still can having the hybrid workspaces. One of the things, and I've said this multiple times, that I think was a benefit to COVID, if you call it a benefit, is the fact that people realize you don't always have to sit behind a desk. You don't have to come into an office every day. You can work from home. You can still be there for your kids when they get out of school. You can have dinner on the table by 6. You can, you can do all of these things and still effectively do your job.
Right.
Having to constantly sit behind a desk where someone's breathing down your neck, or, I just know you're there doing what you're doing. You should have faith in the employees that you hire to do the job. But I think for me mentally, okay, I'm going to say half and half. Mentally, it was fabulous to be at home and know that I could do things that I hadn't been. The other half of me was that my kid was running around crazy and I'm like, oh my God, go back to school already. But I do think for some people's mental health, it's nice to know, hey, I can come in today and work from here, but I'm not going to lose my job if I stay home today. Right. I'm not feeling well, but sometimes when I'm not feeling well, it's not that you can have a stomach or you can be sick, but I could still answer my emails at home, but I'm not going to want to come in the office, of course. So I think there's just a lot of things too, focusing on the mental health of your employees, but also allowing, if you have those options for virtual, if you're seeing that is, actually being a benefit to your business, keep them in place. I think that we've seen that you can do that.
Right. So one of the biggest things that Alicia Smith with FNS told me.
I love her.
Oh my gosh, she's the best. Alicia, are you listening?
If you're not,
why aren't you? But one of the things she told me when I first got into business, I asked her and her daughter I paid her and her daughter to help me set up my ribbon cutting event. And she said, don't take on more than you can handle. And so I strategically had to find out a way where I can continue to bring on new clients and not get so overwhelmed.
Right.
And that's, that has been my success. And not only am I helping other moms who are staying home, and having to raise their children, but I'm providing them with an income that they never imagined.
Right.
And, you really need to focus on yourself, on your mental health, so that you don't lose focus on what's important.
Well, and I think because then it snowballs to the point where if your staff isn't happy, then that conveys to the customers, and then the customers aren't happy, and then you lose money, you lose business, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there like, well, how do I get out of this? But you can't sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes you can make those changes, but I think, you and I had talked too. Outsourcing sometimes is a good option.
Right.
Letting go of some things and knowing, you're still there to make sure it's getting done, but trusting others to do it is a big thing. Now kind of jumping to, so it had this thing about artificial intelligence is becoming a critical tool. That's the one thing I hate those stupid, the chat boxes that pop up or the different, I immediately click off of them. I don't understand. So for me, but where I see the artificial intelligence piece of it, I feel like, Jess, you come in more with the virtual assistant, like having someone, not a robot or a chat box or whatever it is popping up in my face, but, having a virtual assistant that is helping maintain some of those things for your business.
Yeah. And it's just like I'm going to reiterate what I said in the beginning is going back to the basics. People, when they call, they don't want to hear, whoever from Wyoming Badu or whatever. Whatever. They don't want to hear, they don't want to sit on the phone and press the number 2 5,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm getting anxiety just from saying
I just keep going. I don't even do that. I just go operator.
0 0 0 0
Till somebody gets me.
But you know what? Today's kids will never know the feeling of having to actually press the 0 like we did when we were younger.
Right. So real quick, talking about the virtual assistant services, what are some things that virtual assistants can do for businesses?
Yeah. So technology has come such a long way. That some of my clients, they give me their Google number, and that's their main business number, and I'm able to be a voice for their company. So, for instance, I have a company in North Carolina, a company here in Lynchburg, Virginia, and I have their Google number on my phone, and whenever it pops up and they call, it says this company or that company, and I answer as accordingly, and which my phone never gets overwhelming at any point. But I'm able to be a voice for them because they have questions and they just want security and that feeling to know that someone is going to be there should something happen during whatever event.
And I know you do email management, which I think is fabulous. Yes. I know I get so many emails, and there's times that I go, oh, I'll answer that later. And then I forget it's even there.
What's so crazy to me is so I manage 10 or 12 inboxes. People think that
I can't even manage my inbox. What in the world? Okay.
People think that when I manage these emails that I'm actually like reading their emails. No, I'm not. I got my own stuff to worry about. I could care less what's going on in your life. I strategically know how to manage your inbox so that it works for you.
Okay.
Now, one of my clients recently, it was hilarious because one of my clients recently was getting engaged and he had emailed a jeweler, and I thought it was out of content for his, emails and stuff, normal emails. And I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, you getting engaged? He's like, oh yeah, we're getting engaged. We have a baby on the way. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, cool. So, but he told me that, and he was excited, but I was like, oh, that's out of the norm. Like, right. But I don't care about your emails. Like, you can have an affair for all I care, and I wouldn't even know about it.
Note to self. Just kidding.
But yeah, so I don't read your emails. I just know how to strategically maneuver them in your mailbox so that it works for you.
Okay.
Because it can be overwhelming.
No, it really, you get so much spam that a lot of times you're just like delete, and then you accidentally delete something that's not spam, but it looked like it, you know what I mean? And so yeah, it does. It gets really tiring sometimes. Like if I were to even open my email right now, I'm scared. Like it would be a lot.
One of my first email clients, well, not one of my first, but one of my biggest clients, his email box had 60,000 emails. He has nothing in his mailbox today.
Wow. Wow. So lastly, real quick, so we've only got a few minutes left, but lastly, let's chat really quick about, they're talking about how more, you hear social media, and it's going to continue to grow. But one thing I read and I thought was interesting is that people need to embrace the digital first world. They need to understand that you're going to need to have customer service software. You're going to need to have sales software, marketing software, things like that. But then also they were talking about how video media is huge with social media. And And I'm going to call you out because I
Don't call
love
me.
you. I'm doing it. Jess is, you guys need to follow her on TikTok.
Oh.
But they were talking about how people who use TikTok for social media, it's really working to help their brand in a way.
You know, here's the thing about TikTok, and I'll give away my huge secret. There are a lot of people who are visual learners,
Mhm.
like myself.
Yep.
There are people who are ADHD, like myself.
Mhm.
And while YouTube is amazing and has helped my family personally do wonders, having just a 15-second video
Mhm.
to show me how to change a toilet seat is amazing because my attention is there.
Yep.
You know, it's only 15 seconds of
Yep.
showing me how to do something, and I'm like, boom, I'm a genie.
hmm I'll say another one of our members who is fabulous on TikTok is Whiny Chicks.
Yeah.
Felicia with Whiny Chicks Boutique.
Yes.
I love watching hers. The way they change clothes. Like I need TikTok lessons. Like I need to figure out how you do this whole TikTok thing.
So I'm actually
But-
going to be doing a TikTok workshop.
I saw that.
Yes.
I'm gonna probably
with a
come.
CVABC member.
I'm gonna come to that. But that's something too. And you were talking about people want to see what they're purchasing, what they're getting. So, you know, for retail, you know, do a quick TikTok on an item, you know, if you're a service, do a quick TikTok on a service, like,
Mhm.
and it can be fun, make it fun. People like fun stuff. Like I hate to be bored. Like
Yeah.
if you're just like, this is how you do, no, I'm done. I'm done within the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
TikTok can be tricky though. You just have to filter.
mhm.
You have to learn how to filter it out.
Mhm.
And it took me a while. I'll let my kids watch it some, but they don't have their own accounts. So
Yeah.
You just have to be careful.
Well, mine's 23, so I let her do what she wants. But I like I was telling you before, she loves watching your TikTok. She's always like, "Did you see what Jess did today?" And I'm like, "No," because I literally just downloaded TikTok a couple months ago. You know, I'm still, you know, I think another one, LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
is going to be very important still moving forward. I think people don't realize the value of LinkedIn. It's definitely on my list of social media, you know, applications to kind of delve more into and learn more about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think you also need to look at your market. There's so many different apps. What in the world? She was TikToking. But so one of the biggest things, you've got Instagram, you've got, you know, Facebook, you have the LinkedIn, you have, I don't know, there's a million of them now. But finding your market, your niche, you're going to want to have something for each different, you know, each different niche that you're working on. If that makes sense, because, you know, if you're on Facebook, you may not be hitting those, you know, 18 to 25-year-olds. They're looking at TikTok. They're looking at Instagram or Snapchat. I don't even know how you would promote yourself on Snapchat, but you know, whatever. Again, I need lessons. So, but the trend is that social media marketing is going to continue to grow. It's going to keep moving up. You need to be involved. If you're not, you need to learn how, or hire someone that can help you, whether it's a virtual assistant, whether you just get your own social media marketing employee, that's solely working on those things. Because, you know, if you're posting daily, if you're doing things, people are going to see it. Like you're going to get that recognition.
Yeah, it's, you know, virtual assistants has been such a blessing, and I'm grateful for the opportunities and customers and clients that come my way. So if you need anything, smlvirtualassistant.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at joining the CVABC, you can go online to cvabc.org and become a member. If you're listening today and you have some ideas for us for 2022, if there's business ideas, things you want me to research, things you want to learn more about, you know, you can go to our page on grovestreet.fm and, you know, click that and ask to be on the show or send us some information. We are looking forward to a brand new year of Talk Local to Me, and we'll see you next week.